Welcome to this special Christmas podcast of the Off Me podcast. By special, I mean it's legitimately no different than any other podcast I'm going to do, except it's probably just going to be a little bit shorter. Probably cap it at 30 MINs. But yeah, Christmas, jingle bells, and not a big fan. But yeah, just I don't know why. I was like, you know what? Let me do a special Christmas pod. It's like having a 6-month-old baby. It's your first Christmas together. And, just rock 'em buying this episode to sleep, Okay. So I guess let's just jump into the shits. Let's jump into the white well. Is Santa real? Before we answer that, let me ask a question within a question. Let me rebuttal my own question, a question. Do you want him to be real or not? And how would it work? Hypothetically, if he wasn't real, how would it be if he was real? So, for Santa, does he just drop a bill down the chimney 3 days later after all the kids get their bikes and their, Red Ryder BB gun and call it a Christmas story? Do you just get a nice little payment? Do you just get a nice little invoice bill? Do you just put it on a card? Like if you have a very expensive car bill, like, hey, replace your engine. It's like $2,800. It's like, gotta put that on the 6-month plan? Yes, you can, because if you don't, we know you won't be able to pay it. And if that is the case, how come with Santa, it's always very specific. It's never actually stuff you would need. Like, Santa's not like, hey, I got the next 3 months of your mortgage. Even Steven. He's not like, hey, I heard you need some gutters fixed. I got you. And then you wake up on Christmas morning like, oh my God, look outside, Daddy. The gutters are fixed. And he's like, yes. No, it's like, here's some toys. Here's some miscellaneous shit just to make the day better, to make the week. But, you'll still have the beautiful Christmas tree to look at when you have a leakage come from your roof. Like, isn't this a wonderful, wonderful time of year? How does that work? Does he build up interest? Is he basically a credit card company? It's like, hey, it's gonna build up if you don't pay it off on time. Does he next year when you ask for gifts, does he come down your chimney and take some out? Does he just come down and just be like, hey, call it collateral, and he just like takes like your Vizio TV? Is that what you would want? Hypothetically, if Santa isn't real, if Santa was real in this scenario, what would that be how it would work? Or is it just the gift that keeps on giving and you give no matter what? I don't know. So, do you want Santa to be real is the better question. Forget, is Santa real? Do you want Santa to be real? Because if he's not real, you cut the fat out, no pun intended, and you don't cookie cutter, no pun intended, around the elephant in the room. You just tell your kid at the age of 5, like, hey, don't you get that Santa shit in your head. It's not happening, bud. Get real. You want to be one of those parents that teach them the real world at a young age. You want to be one of those. Not even let your kid enjoy life. It's like, at the age of 6, you got to learn life is hard. And I know you haven't even really learned your ABCs yet, but hey, Life's not going to wait for you to learn your ABCs. It's gonna punch you in the face while you're waiting for the school bus. And sometimes you're going to go out to the bus stop thinking it's just a normal chilly day outside. And next thing you know, you get to the bus stop and it starts raining and pouring. And you realize after 8 minutes, is the bus late or did I miss it? Did the bus come 4 minutes early? And that's a life lesson when you go back up and you're like, hey, I missed the bus. And they're like, hey, what the fuck, man? Jesus Christ, it happens every morning. It's like, actually, this is like the first time in 3 months it's happened. It's like, well, you know what? Life's not going to wait for you to catch the bus. You got to go out there and get it yourself. It's like, all right, I don't need a wisdom life quote at the age of 9. Just give me to fucking school so I can have an excuse when I show up to homeroom. And they're like, why are you late? It's like, we don't fucking do shit anyways. And like, get in here. Oh, Christmas. But yeah, that's Christmas for you. It's a great, beautiful time of year. You get to enjoy it with the kids. You get to enjoy with the lovely ladies. You get to enjoy with the lovely men. No homo. You get to enjoy with your animals, your pets. They get to meow while you get the animal abuse and dress them up and put these little Santa bells on their ring, and you just hear them binging and gelling as they're walking around the house. It's just an excuse to dress your kid up as a fucking, prostitute. Because, if we dressed up for Halloween, which I guess some people do, but if you dress up for, if you dress up for Christmas like you do Halloween, come on, man. It's a little excessive, don't you think? Yeah, it's basically just an excuse to dress like a whore. You're not trying to dress up as Mrs. Claus. You're 27-year-olds with a nice fat booty. And you got it going. I'm not going to sit there and be like, where's my cookies, you sexy little beast? And they're like, right over here. And they bring you out some Troll House, stale, no flavored sugar cookies. But it has a print of a nice colored Christmas tree on it. And it's really just food dye. And it'll probably closer to making you die. But yeah, beautiful time of year. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas because it's 90 degrees outside. Yeah. The more I do this podcast, I don't think I'm in the right mood to do it. Not in the mood. But you know what? Neither is Santa. And guess what? His one time a year. Would you rather work one day of the year? Here's where we'll go. Only took 8 minutes to get it started. Would you rather work one day a year where you're working at that excessive pace of speed? I understand time zones, so you know what? He can go to the time zones of what's convenient, whatever, get blah, blah, blah. We get it. But is Santa, would you rather have a job where you work one day a year, but it's going to take you about 3 months to recover from that one day, exhaust-wise? Or would you rather just work 5-6 days a week like we do now? And you get to pace it out, right? Because he's working the equivalent of probably months worth of hours because he's working time zones here, time zones there. There's days and days. He's literally working days and days nonstop, which, people do that too. But he gets to go back home to chimneys and fireplaces. But yeah, would you rather have that? You get to have little elves, which is probably just really dwarfs that are really into tall ladies and old ladies, which they are really old. So Santa and Mrs. Claus are really old. So them I'm surprised there's been an incident of them inappropriately touching children, but, hopefully stay out of the rooms. But then again, most Catholic priests look like Santa. God, I really got to stop. Someone told me, you really need to stop making references to the Catholic Church. Because you know what? 99% of priests are good. It's like when people try to say, 99% of cops are good. It's like, yeah. But those priests are doing really bad things. And maybe, just maybe, what happened to just teaching the youth? This whole thing, you got to reach the youth. You got to quote unquote. I think when they use the term, we just try to touch the youth with wisdom. It's like, you took that a little too literal. Because the wisdom they're going to have the rest of their lives are not going to be, have faith. It's like, nah. They're going to carry something else around with them the rest of their lives. And then they wonder, I'm not even going to go there. Whew. I was about to go deep down. This is supposed to be a positive Christmas lights. Call it the Green Light Pod. I just thought of it. How come traffic lights are really representation of Christmas? Red, yellow, green. What if there are those same lights in the sky when Santa's riding his sleigh? Like, what if they had lights in the sky for anything that flies? Like airplane, cargo planes, Santa's sleigh, helicopters. And if there were lights in the sky where they had to go by the same traffic rules as us humans that drive vehicles. Except the ramifications if they run a red light are a little bit different. That's not something to joke about. Airplane crashes. But hey, do you just get a ticket if nothing happens? You run a red light, do you get do you have a plane pull you over while you're in another plane? Seems like some off the movie Airplane, by the way. Do you just pull over and be like, hey, you ran a red light. Oh, my bad. While they're in their 800 million pound jet. Or if you get private jet, if you have a private jet, do you just have the flash pass? Well, or you have the peach pass or the sun pass. Because boy, the sun will pass. Goes year round. It's weird how the sun actually goes around once a day. Goes around the earth once a day. But when you think about it, it goes around once a day. But it only touches the sun. It only touches the earth at a specific part in the axis one time a year. Because while the earth is spinning, it's spinning at a certain pace. And when the sun's going faster, it's rarely ever going to be at the same spot where it once was before, except once a year. I know that may be confusing for the audio, but, your boy's just kind of getting through this one. But yeah. Not that it's New Year's yet, but, there's always going to be the people of New Year's resolution, Christmas resolutions, while they get gifts and they get all this jazz, all of a sudden they feel positive about things. Like, you know what? This is going to be my year. I've never heard someone say this is going to be my year and then it actually ended up being their year. Just typical history. And I'm not saying you shouldn't think to yourself or say, I'm just saying typically people say because, you get in a good mood. It's kind of like when you're, holidays, Christmas and New Year's and stuff. It really is like alcohol. When you're on alcohol, I say on it, but when you drink alcohol, you feel like, it's like, wow, I feel so freeing. I'm going to feel like this forever. This is the year things are going to change for me. This is when things are going to happen. And typically if you're drinking alcohol, things are not really happening. At least, at that rate. But yeah. It's like if you're on Molly, you really think like, I'm really going to make it happen. Like, wow. If I took Molly every day, you know how much I can accomplish? What I would take, if I were to take that Limitless pill, like on the movie Limitless, bro. People say it's like that with Ritalin, or is it Xanax? Whatever the pill that keep you, or Adderall. Yeah. I'll be honest. I've wanted to take Adderall. I want to just try it out one time, but people say it can be heavily addictive, and the crash and the withdrawals you have from not taking it are scary. I'll talk about a Christmas pod involving Addie. Give me the Addie, I asked her. And then it's like, whoa, no. I'm at the 8 count. Relax. But, yeah. It's, Adderall. I want to try because I want to see if, you don't want to be reliant on drugs or alcohol for production. If it's one of those that actually can, like, holy shit, you're so focused, you're so zoned in on something. But man, like, just to do it once, or maybe like once a month, do it like one night out of the month, that would be kind of cool. I want to see like how much more you can access to your mind. That would be really fucking cool. Maybe Santa, the one night a year, he has all year to train. And he's like, I did all this training, and guess what? I need to take Adderall, honey. It's like, Santa, you're 2021 years old. You can't be taking Adderall. And he's like, bitch, give me the fucking Adderall. And she's like, okay. And he doesn't even need like one of those pill like separators for days of the week. It's like one day a year, man. You take this one fucking pill and do your fucking job, get home, and just sleep. Just rest. Why do we praise Santa for working one day a year? He works one day a fucking year. And we praise this man like he's a role model. We praise this man like, oh, look, this random strange guy gets your kids a gift. It's like, yeah, you work one day a year. My tax dollars, you better fucking give my kids a gift. It's basically my taxes given back. You remember those sites as a young kid? You used to have those, you used to see where Santa's at the moment. Quote unquote, whether you believe it's true or not. I believed it was true. Santa is real. Santa is really like crypto. Santa, he's really like anything of value. It's only as valuable as people have value in it. Someone's profiting off Santa, whether you believe it or not. These department stores have Santa dressed up on mannequins at the mall. Santa's, you're putting your kid in some strange man's lap, and you're cool with that. It's kind of weird how that like became this weird tradition. Like, yes, go into this 52-year-old man's lap in a Santa outfit. What could possibly go wrong here? It's like, I don't know. What the fuck do I know? That would be a weird kink if, not that I go on those sites, but I'm pretty sure on the homepage of some of those explicit websites, it's probably a Santa baby giving your girlfriend the dick. Yeah. Talk about taking your stocking home with you. That's absolutely disgusting. But hey, man, Santa's out here getting it in. He's got to do something the rest of the year. Can't hold it in. What if he did everything in one night? He went home, or he went all around the world, dropped your gifts off, took Adderall, maybe even took a Molly for celebration after, just to stay awake another 20 plus hours. And he just gave Mrs. Claus the business. And he did that one day out of the year. And the rest of the days, he just chills out. He just sits there watching Stephen A. Smith. He just sitting there watching everything that we watch, watching the world and everything. He's like, what's funny? He's like, You guys so worried about COVID, but you'll just invite me in your house and just drop shit down the chimney and say, Merry Christmas. It's like, I guess you guys took a day off of that. Can you imagine if, what if someone had a sign out, Santa, don't come down the chimney unless you're vaccinated? It's like, you're really going to turn down Santa fucking Claus if he's vaccinated? Like, he's going to give your kid his dream toy they wanted this year. And you're like, yeah, but I care about my kid's health and safety. It's like, all right, you know what? Go fuck yourself. Don't ask me to come back. You know, I'm kind of a busy man. You put a sign on the fucking roof being like, hey, not this year, Santa. I'm surprised like he has survived 2,000 plus years of survival. No one has just waited in the living room. Tell me every single person that's tried to wait it out all night for Santa, they just fell asleep for 5 minutes and all of a sudden, boom, they wake up. It's like, no. Some went weird, man. Santa would be the best robber of all time. He has cracked the system so fucking much that we literally don't see him, and we just let a strange man break into our house once a year. And we're like, hey, you know what? It's like the purge, but once a year. Except, what if the purge was on Christmas? People just walking around with Santa outfits, and next thing you know, pull out a shotgun wedding. By the way, if you get married on fucking Christmas, go fuck yourself. You know what? Go get married on Christmas, but you know what? Don't ask anyone to come to your wedding. It's like, I've always thought it was weird when movies would come out on Christmas. I kind of, I guess, get it more now. I haven't really thought about it. I haven't been to a movie theater in a while. Good God. I don't know. Maybe try it out this year. Probably not, but you know what? Who cares? I've always found that weird. It's always weird for Christmas Day for places to be. You almost feel guilty going anywhere on Christmas Day, you know, except Chinese buffets. No one feels guilty because we just assume they don't celebrate Christmas and we assume they're just profiting off of it. But we don't. It's like, yeah, oh, we care about the Chinese. Like, well, on Christmas, like, hey, we expect you guys to be open. It's always weird to go to places on Christmas. Like, there's some places, like coffee shops, like a Dunkin', they'll be open from like 7 a.m. to like 1 or 2 p.m. You know, and then you'll have, what's the other, you know, you have places that will be open for like the morning time and early afternoon. And it's always jobs that you look down on. Except for Christmas, you're like, oh, we'll have a great Christmas. Then the next morning you come in like, Jesus fucking Christ, you fucked up my sandwich. Why is your weave in my burger? It's like, well, you know, who orders a burger at 9 a.m.? You deserve whatever gets in there, but whatever. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting how we're just cool with that. Christmas is really like the one real holiday that people actually like feel guilty or feel like it's weird if you don't have that off. Like Thanksgiving, it's like, all right, like we're just sitting around watching football, eating shit. Christmas is supposed to be that time you come together. 4th of July is like, you know, baby, you're a firework. And then like New Year's is really just like, all right, this is just people getting drunk and shit. This is just people partying, having a good time. But Christmas is that one where it's supposed to be about the family. It's supposed to be that one that brings people together, you know. And it's just weird how we're just cool places being open. And like these people that are working, we're like, hey. And then we always say, we appreciate you so much for working. It's like, oh, really? What if all of us took today off and this place wasn't open? Then you would say, fuck you. You wouldn't say, thank y'all. You wouldn't be like, you know what? I understand. Hey, I know they're closed and everyone's at home with their kids. You know what? I respect that. You know what? Everyone just stays home on Christmas. No places open. Nah, because we got to have those few places open. Because, we have we always feel like we got to have people work. And look, if you want to voluntarily work, be my guest. It just feels weird. It's just like, hey, I go to a place and I kind of feel like, hey, Merry Christmas. And they're never in a... There's two type of employees on Christmas. There's the overjoyous, happy for no reason. And then there's the complete opposite, like, yeah, fuck off. Especially, like, everyone has this boost of energy at the beginning of their shift and the holidays are great. But if you're one of the few places open of anything, you're probably going to be busy as fuck that day. And it's probably going to be the most miserable fucking day for you because you're probably going to be understaffed. Depending on where you work, you'll probably get tipped very well. And that's basically what you're banking on, but it's going to be miserable and busy. And weirdly enough, customers have this weird thing like every other day of the year, you do not want to wait X amount of time for your food. You'll just be, but it's like you can order one iced coffee and someone will sit there for 28 minutes and be like, sorry about the wait. And be like, oh, don't worry about it, honey. You're so great. Have a God bless Merry Christmas. Oh, Lord. But on December 26th, make them wait 8 minutes. And they're like, Jesus fucking Christ, what kind of fucking operation you run here? I'm going to fill out a survey, and it's not going to be in your favor. And you're just like, what a difference a day makes. Yeah. It's just this weird thing when you go to places on Christmas Day. It's just it's this lack of I don't know how to explain it. It's like Christmas is just that one day a year where it's like if you are not with your family, you're not with people, it's like, what's wrong with them? Are they okay? It's like, I don't know. Maybe you have to work. Maybe she had different things wanted to do. You do that any other holiday, everyone's like, whatever. It's not that big. Christmas, oh God. It's about bringing everyone together. Taking pictures. Remembering the good old times. It's about going 3 hours away to meet a cousin you've met 3 times in your life, but you're supposed to give a fuck about them. It's like, bro, I don't even know. I just know. It's like, I literally got the memo like 2 miles before I got here. They're like, hey, by the way, that guy, he's your third cousin. Oh, no, you met him before when you were like 3 years old. How do you not remember? It's like, because I was 3. And you guys let me watch a lot of fucking television. So yeah, my brain is kind of fried. So yeah, I don't remember this kid. And then you get there and you're like, there's no way we're related. And you realize there's this weird family tree of shit. It's like this, like, I don't get family trees. Like, I have to really, like, it's like my ABCs always have to start from the beginning when I say them. Like, even to this day, like when someone says, what comes after L? In my head, I'll be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, M. And I always have to start from the beginning. And I recite it from beginning to end every time. Where like numbers, it's like what comes after 8, 9, what comes after 32, 33. I don't have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 7, 8, 9, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Oh, that's what it is. No. Jeez, could you imagine if you had to do that for numbers? Someone had to do what comes after 323? You're sitting there watching someone count the 323 in their head. Well, semi out loud. Jesus Christ. But you can do it with the alphabet because there's only 26 or is it 27? I don't know. Let me count. A, B, C. I'm not going to count. But you get the point. And it's like that with family trees. Like when you start getting to like the third uncles and cousins and nieces and nephews, like I have to really think like, okay, so a nephew is my parents' brother. And then a cousin is like my parents' cousins or my parents' nephews' kids. And I start using my hands to like make diagrams in my head because I'm so fucking confused. I've never understood the family tree thing outside of parents, kids, their kids. Like when it's grandparents, parents, siblings, I got you. Once you start getting into those subcategories, people that you don't meet any more than every 4 or 5 years at most, max, like that's where it gets a little, all right, man, this is a little weird. But yeah. I never asked anything from Santa, but I'm gonna ask for Santa. I'm gonna drop a baby on me. That sounds weird. Like, don't have a woman give birth on my face. What I'm saying is, well, I'm also not saying drop a baby like Anthony Jeselnik joke. What I'm literally saying is, you know what? Give me a baby. Tomorrow, when I wake up for Christmas, I better wake up with a little mini me, and he better look like me. And I don't even have to know who the mother is. I really don't. Just drop the baby in my bed, and then I'll figure it out from there, Talk about renewed purpose. Actually writing, I'm almost actually finished writing the film. It's almost at 200 pages. Jesus fucking Christ. It's going to be a long-ass film. Probably not, because it's probably going to get cut, moved around. You know the drill. But there's a lot of similar themes with that, but neither here nor there. But it's like, all right, Santa, you really about giving people what they want, what they wish for? Just give me a kid. That's all I wish for. Just give it to me. I deserve it. And he's like, you deserve the worst parts of having a kid, but not the actual great parts, you son of a bitch. But yeah, imagine if it was just that easy. You want a kid, you just wish for it from Santa. And he's like, it's almost like he's got a deal. He's got sponsorship. He like works in a charity with the adoption agency. He's like, all right, so I have a list of 62,000 people that want a kid. And they're like, Jesus Christ. Do we have to do background checks? We don't do background checks in the North Pole. Just give it to them. It can't be any worse. They're living in a foster home. Give it to a home. If 3 out of 4 end up all right, that's like what? 40,000 kids with a better home than before? I think we're doing progress. It's like, But you know what? I'm going to say if you probably go to the route of Santa because you couldn't go the natural adoption way, it's probably a reason you're going through Santa. It's kind of like I don't even know what comparison is, but you get the gist. You know what? If you want a kid, just impregnate someone or adopt them or just ask for Santa. You never know what will be in your stocking. Could you imagine if you just put a little infant in your stocking? You're thinking like, oh, it's a little puppy. Oh, my parents surprised me with a puppy. Next thing you know is, holy shit. Oh, yeah, he was born last week. You're welcome. It's like, this is a little bit the drop on us. You always hear about the stories of like people just leaving their kids in grocery stores. People just leaving kids at random people's door. And it sounds so absurd. It's crazy to understand the process of that. Like this is the best. Like you couldn't even, or I think more natural typically happens. They drop it off at a police station or something, more times than not. And it's like, all right. This is crazy. Like, I understand the stress and everything to have a kid, and maybe you can't provide. Like, you just leave it in a movie theater during the Avengers. It's like, imagine if you're just sitting there watching Daddy's Home with Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, and you hear a baby crying. You see someone walk out, and then like 10 minutes later, someone's like, wait, this lady left her baby. Which I don't know why it took you 10 minutes when you're 2 seats down to realize someone left their baby. But, so like, wow, did that lady leave her baby? Maybe she just went to go get a refill. Doesn't take 15 minutes to get a refill. Then they start looking. Next thing you know, it's like, hey, maybe you try to rationalize it. Maybe she just, maybe she wanted to learn for her baby to watch a movie by themselves. You kind of like throw them into the fire. That's how you train. Throw them into the wolves. And the baby was not ready. She's like, Mommy, where ain't you home? But yeah, maybe next time, check the ticket. All right, you know what? Fuck it. That's the end of the pod. That was episode 95 of the Off and Beat podcast. Enjoy your Christmas. This is a special Christmas pod. This is probably the first, I think this is the first podcast that's going to be under 40 minutes. And it probably should have been under 5 minutes, but you know what? Fuck it. Whatever. Like, subscribe, and as always, and don't forget, even on Christmas, suck some titties, and it's the most wonderful time to suck some titties. That'll be hell of a Christmas. Hey, Santa, you just drop some semi-realistic titties on me. It's like, Jesus. That would probably be the number one request. Ooh.